Lovely and dear Scorpios, this is your horoscope for July 2024, and July will be truly amazing, spectacular month. Start whatever is in your mind in July, initiate in July, begin in July, do everything as much as possible in July, because in August we have Mercury retrograde. And as you might know, when Mercury retrogrades, it's not advisable to start any projects, to sign important papers, to do plastic surgeries. So all in all, to initiate things, to start things during Mercury retrograde, it's totally no go. Now, better to do everything in July when we have amazing Mercury in direct motion. And plus, July will be for you, seems like totally around movement of ideas, movement, physical movement, like traveling, quite a lot of traveling you've planned for July, it seems like. And you will be planning, in July. This is also a possibility if you won't be traveling in this month. And it's a lot of like new topics, new ideas, new communication, kind of quite a lot of activities around these topics for you guys. Now let's begin with horoscope, and July begins exactly from the get-go, from 2nd of July, the day of full packed planetary energy, astrologically speaking. 2nd of July, Mercury, planet of communication and planet of signing contracts. It's a planet of thoughts and ideas, so we need this Mercury to be direct, to sign papers, to start business, to make a communication and conversations on point, and also to have commerce, because Mercury is also about trade. When two people trade between each other, they agree on prices, they agree on the deal, all these things represented in astrology by Mercury. And Mercury is also all about cooperation, and this planet on 2nd of July in your natal chart moves into your highest house, 10th house of career and social status. Now, if you look at the clock, and you find number 12, it's the highest point of the clock, right? So the same as the natal chart. So it's the highest point of the chart, 10th house, meaning our career, what we aspire, to become, to like which places we want to be like in. And we are working towards to get there. So it's the 10th house is our career house, and it's also social status, like meaning what is your stance in a bigger society, who you represent, what do you represent, like are you a father, are you a spouse, or anything related to social stance, in a bigger society or within even your smaller society. Now, Mercury moving into your career house, it gives some information, meaning some sort of information or news coming to you, my dear Scorpios, about your future career. It might be about a new job offer, or it might be about your application if you've applied to some new positions, to some companies, or it might be about your current position, like in your current company. It might be that they will give you news that your position is rising, let's say. Now you are in a managerial position, kind of, because your influence is rising, because 10th house is also all about influence. And also, if it's not about your career, it might be about your social status. Maybe it's related to your social status, because it seems like some news is coming, like signing contract. Maybe you are signing some sort of, document and deal that makes you, let's say, a share owner. That's also a title, kind of social status, that you are an investor, let's say. Maybe you are signing some documents and papers that makes you now an investor, in a bigger society, how we call people according to the social status, right? It might be anything. I can give you like crazy a lot of examples, but just the main point is that Mercury is the information. It's the sender, kind of postman of the universe, bringing to you all sorts of news and letters and calls. It might be even through telephone, might be even through call. Now, Mercury, for the most part of July, will stay in your career house, but after, like towards the end, 26th of July, Mercury will move into your 11th house. That's a whole another story. That's a busy part of your life, because 11th house is all about big events, all about internet, all about where some events or situations when crazy a lot of people gather together. And 11th house is also friendship house. So you see how like Mercury will fire up towards the end of July. Seems like you will be chatty and quite busy with your friends. Quite a lot of friends might reach out to you, or you might reach out to your friends, or you might attend such a big kind of social event where like thousands or even millions of people gather, like might be Olympic Games or might be Euro Cup, let's say, or it might be any sort of other concert or big event, maybe an art exhibition or some sort of big thing, when a lot of people gather. And, Mercury in 11th house is also all about your friendships, as I said, and also about internet, even online friendships, 11th house covers internet, social media. If you are not attending any sort of big events or not communicating with your friends in real life, it might be over internet. It might be that your social presence gets boosted. Let's say you might get a lot of followers if that's your wish, or you might get involved into this kind of communication, online communication, and you might be quite a lot of time, especially for those of you guys who are in the media, who work in the media and your occupation is there. After 26th of July, it will get quite busy for you at work, my dear Scorpios. Also, 11th house is all about joining clubs, like some groups, social circle. It might be like you might join some sort of group of people, like group of interests, let's say. You might sign up to some kind of events or communication or newsletter, all these things are 11th house. And Mercury on 26th of July, when moves into that 11th house, but like towards the end of July, you will get more busy around those topics in your life. Now, coming back to your 10th house, the highest point where Mercury will spend the whole July. If you say it's not about career, it won't be about career, and it's not about, like, let's say, it might not be about your social status. It might be just about your father, because 10th house rules our father or our manager or someone who we respect. We have respect and we aspire to be like that person. Now, it might be that they will give you some sort of news, or they might contact you and they will play, let's say, bigger part of July role in your life, let's say. Okay, now this 10th house will fire up, with another planet, Venus, on the 11th of July. Venus will also move into your 10th house, and together Mercury and Venus here will make this 10th house the main part for you, in the whole July and beginning of July especially. And it seems like you will be focused exactly on your career and social status, and also about your father or someone you will respect, And Venus is a planet of love and beauty. And also Venus is the planet of money. It seems like something related to money coming, after 11th of July. It might be even news. Also, you might be having some conversation about, let's say, if you will be having conversation about the new job offer, then it might move to that stage where you'll have to discuss about future salary, and or Venus in the 10th house might also give you some sort of support, some support from VIP people, from your manager, from your father. It's a huge, amazing support when Venus in your 10th house. Now, also 10th house is all about achievements and prize and nomination and our title. It's about our, influence and reputation. And Venus comes here and makes you, irresistibly influential, and also will give you quite a big influence, over other people. It might be you who will become such a person to someone else, actually, who other people might look up at you and respect you, and some sort of, you might become for them sort of a good manager. So now, coming back to 2nd of July, the busiest day of July, is another planet, Neptune, will make a move. And Neptune is the planet of magic and imagination, of our, inspiration. I love this planet because it's the planet of, manifestation. It's the magical planet where all the magic happens. Now, Neptune will go retrograde, meaning moving backwards, meaning slowing down in influence, but it will not cease to influence your life. It will not stop doing so, but it will just give you sort of a retrospective motion, and kind of a background coloration of your life. And it will move backwards in your house of true love, in your 5th house, until pretty much end of the year, 8th of December. So Neptune going for the next half of year of 2024 retrograde. And it's repeating actually after his bigger brother, Saturn, because Saturn is the planet, Saturn also went retrograde on 29th of June already, a couple of days before Neptune is going to retrograde, and they're both of them like retrograding in your fifth house of true love. And Saturn will retrograde also for half of a year until 15th of November, pretty much end of the year. So these two planets, Saturn is the planet of responsibilities. It's the planet of hard work, and it's the planet of discipline. Now, Saturn, together with Neptune, hand in hand, will move backwards in your fifth house for the next half year, giving you this kind of a background, more of a subconscious level influence. The topics that they will be giving these two planets for you, it's more of a on a subconscious level in your mind, time to time popping up in your mind about your fifth house. I will tell you what is this fifth house about in a minute. Just want to tell you that these two planets are heavy planets, meaning karmic planets. They don't have the quality, let's say, influence into our lives directly, but mostly on a soul level, our evolutional level, kind of a mental evolutional level. They give lessons for us that we grow spiritually, and mentally also. Now, Neptune and Saturn will retrograde in your fifth house. Now let's look at your fifth house. Fifth house is the house, in astrology, of joy. Fifth house is the house of creativity, where we create things. For example, kids, our children, and because we create them out of joy, let's say, that's where our kids are too in astrology. Our children are in the fifth house. And what those, especially those of you who are guys like actors, singers, also in the fifth house, these occupations are all about fifth house because it's a creative house. Everything related to that, something that we create, something that comes from our talents, from our hobbies, this is all about fifth house. When we are busy with our hobbies, we enjoy life, and this is all about joy, this fifth house. Also, fifth house is all about love for yourself and for your life, because exactly on the fifth house, we do things that we enjoy, and we are ourselves kind of on a higher vibrations, let's say. And that's why the fifth house is also a house of true love. When we fell in love, it's the house of dating. It's the house of flirting and romance. And it's not the house of committed relationships. It's exactly those of you who are especially start dating or on a dating stage kind of. This retrograde of these two planets will be speaking directly to you guys, not to you guys who are married or a long time together, settled and committed. You guys are not influenced by these two planets. These two planets will be speaking directly to you guys who just start dating or who met someone special and who are trying to develop, let's say, their relationship. And it's good that these two planets will retrograde because they will give you more perspective if this is, if that's the person that you want to spend your life with, if that's the person that you were dreaming about, let's say, your whole life, or if that's the person that you want to be together, and spend time. And these two planets will give you that perspective of what kind of qualities in your partner you would like to see, beside you, or you wouldn't want to see, and you will make some, concrete sort of decisions after this next half of 2024. After these two planets will go retrograde, direct. After going backwards, they will start, moving direct after 8th of December. That's when you will sort of realize and will make decisions for yourself about your romantic life, about your partner that you've been dating, let's say. And this is exactly for those Scorpios who are occupied with love kind of in their current life stage, let's say. Also, as I said, fifth house is about children. So those of you guys, if you have children or if you don't have children and you are on a fertility journey and you want to have kids, these two planets will give you that sort of topic to think about. You might be time to time kind of thinking. It's not every day you intensely thinking, because two planets, as I said again, and I'm repeating myself, it's about more subconscious level, what we don't verbalize, what we don't speak to other people, to anyone. We like speaking and thinking in our heads, so it might give you this sort of vibration around your kids. Even those of you who has kids or who doesn't have kids, let's say, and you are on a fertility journey, these two planets will give you that sort of quite a lot of thinking about anything related to your kids. Maybe it's their studies, or maybe it's their how you're gonna handle them, or how you can make their future, let's say. You might be quite a lot of reading even about these things, or time to time, let's say, thinking about your children and all things related to your children. Now, maybe it's about their health. or it's about your health during fertility journeys. And you might be also contacting some people, even maybe like some doctors, specialists around this fertility thing, conception thing. Now, if like for some Scorpios, these two planets might, actually indicate your business. Business owners, listen up. Because if you're an entrepreneur, this is for you, my dear Scorpios. These two planets retrograde in the fifth house, and fifth house also includes business owners, because when we do our thing, we open, we create business. So that's why business in the fifth house too. Now, those of you guys who have business or who wants to open their own business, and to become their own manager and boss, then these two planets will give you all sorts of thoughts and introspective kind of, feeling about and around your business. Whatever is your situation, if you are a beginner, or if you already experienced business owner and you want to expand, let's say, your business, to open, let's say, more shops, or open more like franchising, then this might indicate actually preparation stage. For the next half year, you might be preparing to open your business or to expand it, actually. These two planets will give you all that, tools and thoughts about how to expand, how to open, and how to become a business owner. Now, and for some of you, it might be actually about your, career in creativity, let's say, like creative projects, especially those of you who are like dancers, singers, models and actors. Fifth house is all about that. And here, it might take you quite some time to, train your skills, to train more, sort of, and to be, let's say, on your A game. This next half year might be for you sort of a preparation time too, for future events and your performances of your masterpiece, my dear Scorpios. Now let's move to the new moon. New moon on 6th of July. It's amazing new moon. It's happening in your house of all things foreign, happening in your house of ninth house. And ninth house is related to our higher mind. When people travel, when we travel, our mind is expanding. We see different cultures. We get to experience kind of different variety of food, like authentic, let's say, and language and surrounding, and our mind is getting expanded. Now, ninth house is all about that, and that's why ninth house covers all things foreign, all people foreign, languages, and education is the ninth house too, higher education. And ninth house is also all about legal affairs, like legal cases, and also legal, let's say, the documents related to travel and related to legal documents, let's say. Or ninth house is all about our teachers and wisdom house. It's exactly the ninth house where we are searching for meaning of life in astrology, where we're trying to find out, let's say, why we come here, for what purpose, why we live this life, let's say. And this is all about ninth house. This is all ninth house covers. And also, of course, religion, beliefs, convictions, whatever system that you have, what you believe in, your mentality, also here. And also publishing, like books, articles, research is exactly ninth house. And, this all things is ninth house. And you have a new moon, my dear Scorpios. That's amazing, isn't it? Because new moon is all about something new, as in the name. New moons, they start new stories. It might be new sort of situation, or new person, a new foreigner entering your life, or someone who speaks different language, or someone who is from different background. And this new moon is happening at 14 degrees. Those of you who are born around 5th of November, plus or minus 5 days, will be exactly affected by this new moon. But most of us might be affected, but especially those of you who are born around 5th of November, plus or minus 5 days, this new moon will be speaking to you directly. Now, that new moon will be an amazing one. It's a pitch of July and one of the best for this year of 2024. And this new moon will be supported by a lot of planets, but mainly by Saturn, planet of discipline and hard work, And Saturn will be situated in your house of true love, 5th house, that house of joy, And another planet that will support it directly, it's Mars. Mars is your ancient ruler, my dear Scorpios. Why ancient? Because you have two rulers, one modern, one ancient. Lucky you. And Mars is your ancient ruler, meaning Mars rules sign of Scorpio. Now, Mars will be in your another love house. This time it's a committed relationship house. Those where we commit to, where those partners that we are long with, that you are in a relationship that is long term, or even business partners. Whatever we sign on paper, like between two people, that is a committed relationship. And your business partners and your marriage, let's say, partners are here. Your wife, husband, and even long term partner is also here. Now, Mars is supporting from that house. Saturn is supporting from your true love and joy house. And this new moon is set to be all about kind of romance. It's set to be all, for most of you guys, might be about love. Something new is starting. There might be some new love interest, for you. Around 6th of July, you might meet someone who might stay for a long time in the long run, and someone who might intrigue you. And that person might be someone foreigner, like someone who speaks different language or from different culture, even if it's even from your own country, but let's say it's from different sort of culture, like background. And for some of you, it might be actually about kids. For example, you might become a parent, or you might actually give birth, or actually knew the happy news that you are becoming a parent, because it's happening in your ninth house. And ninth house is, as I said, a house of, meaning of life. And our kids gives that meaning of life, at some portion. Don't you agree? So, Saturn is exactly in your house of kids, like children, and Mars in your house of wife and husband. Seems like this new moon for some of you might be related exactly about situation around your kids' situation. Also, ninth house is the house of travel, immigration, as I said. You might travel in the beginning of July, around 6th of July, And don't forget to give any new moons or any full moons 10 days of influence, because new moons and full moons, they deliver news within 10 days, they appear, meaning 5 days before and 5 days after. And we all get our portion of news. Just patience. For you guys, it seems like you might travel with your husband, or with your sweetheart, or even with your, partner that you start dating recently. It's a possibility too. And it seems like you might be traveling also for work, but mostly for sort of enjoyment with your husband, like with your partner. And it seems like you will travel somewhere far, somewhere foreign, and you might enjoy it quite well. Also, for those of you guys like who decided, let's say, separate, because new moon also might give a separation, and then in this case you might start a legal case. You might apply for a divorce, let's say, file for a divorce, or start your division of resources, and the settlement thing, between you and your ex, let's say, husband or wife. This is a possibility too. Then this new moon might indicate a new legal case. It doesn't matter. It might be related to your relationship, or it might be related to your business. Because for those of you guys who say it's not about any relationship, let's say I'm happily married, nothing is happening around there, or I'm single and I'm not planning to have in my life anyone for now, then it might be about your business, because Saturn is exactly in the business house. As I said, 5th house. You might find perfect partner, business partner, because Mars is indicated in your 7th house of business partners. You might have amazing partner, and that partner might, suggest, or you might plan to open your business somewhere in a foreign country, or in a, I don't know, different state or a different city, somewhere different than you are based now. And you might expand actually your business. If that's your case, then this new moon is perfect to seize that opportunity to start, and expand your business exactly around 6th of July. Beginning of July will be the perfect time for you to do that, my dear Scorpios. And for some of you, it might be about even education, because 9th house is about education. You might get acceptance letter, or your kids actually might get acceptance letter if that's not you, So you might get the news that you will soon start your studies somewhere in a university, which will be also not close proximity to your hometown. If your situation is related to publishing, all that book or article, or if you're a researcher and you're trying to publish a research and trying to find an editor, this new moon will give you amazing opportunity to find perfect person to help you out with your book, a research, an article, whatever is that you're writing, your masterpiece. This new moon will give that opportunity, will find for you the right people to help you, to edit and to publish it. And exactly beginning of July will be perfect for you to hunt for those kind of people, my dear Scorpios. And if your situation related to, all things related to travel, like documents, visa, citizenship, or residence permits, then this new moon will speak also directly to you, my dear Scorpios. You might get what you were applying for, or you might apply. You might start your application time. Timing will be perfect. This new moon will give you that amazing start, for your application. Or if you've applied before, then you will get the news that you've been approved that visa or residence permit or any sort of, let's say, citizenship, any sort of document related to immigration or travel. Or you might actually immigrate, around this new moon. If everything is ready for you to immigration, you've been preparing it, then this new moon might indicate your actual immigration to another country, to another city, or to another place. But most likely it's a different country. It's an abroad, Now, let's talk about Mars, your ancient ruler. By the 15th of July, mid of July, Mars, your ancient ruler, Mars is the planet of action. It's a let's go and get it planet. It has very less patience, and Mars is the planet. It's our engine. It's exactly the planet that makes us do things, create things, make things done. And Mars will make conjunction, will connect with Uranus. Now, Uranus is the planet of surprise, planet of electricity. It's related to electricity in astrology. And no wonder, why it's always hard. You never know what this planet might bring you into your life as a surprise because electrical shock, also related to this planet. Now, these two, Mars and Uranus, will make connection, meaning conjunction. They will hug each other, finally, in your house of committed relationships. Now, seventh house. Seventh house is, covered those relationships that are long-term, those relationships that are committed and that are, signed on paper, let's say. That's why it's also our business partnerships are here. Our business partners are here. And also our husband and wife also here. Seventh house. Now, usually, connection of these two planets is a bit of a explosive aspect in astrology because, engine plus electricity, it's a bit like of a bit of explosive, let's say. But looking at your chart, it's more of a positive aspect, I see, because there is another planet who will make, amazing, let's say, aspect to those two. Neptune, planet of magic, planet of imagination, also planet of intuition and planet of our inspiration. And Neptune is a more gentle planet, and Neptune is exactly situated in your house of true love, and it will send to both of those Mars and Uranus planets a beam, amazing beam, making it more gentle, making it more softer. And it seems like you might enjoy something very unexpected surrounding your relationship, that is committed relationship. It might be that even there might be like a surprise proposal for you, being ready, let's say, or being prepared, or you might actually do that surprise proposal and you are preparing that, because everything is indicated here relates to your relationships, because these two planets exactly connecting in your relationship house. Also, it might be that there is, as I said, surprise proposal, or it might be you will initiate, let's say, if you start dating recently, you might initiate the process of going further, let's say leveling up your relationship, making it more committed and long-term, sort of. And if you say it's not about relationship, for some Scorpios, it might be about solely, business, because Neptune is exactly in the business house. And those two, Mars and Uranus, they are connecting in your business partnership house. Seems like there might be very surprising partnership, forming. There might be an offer, surprising offer, and sudden offer for you, shocking offer, let's say, but positive one to, for a business partnership, to become a partners and to start a business, and even offer to be a business partner and be in the business, let's say. It might be your also situation. And especially, guys, for you, if you are like, let's say, in the creative area, actors, singers, and etc., for you, around 15th of July might be also very shocking, like positively surprising offer from, let's say, agents, those who can, help you to promote your talents, your, skills around your creativity kind of area. And everything is possible because of these two planets connection. Now, On 20th of July, 5 days after their connection, Mars will move out from your committed partnership house and will move into your financial house. Now, financial house, eighth house is all about money that that is coming to you from other people. It's not the money that you earn. It's the money that comes to you from other people or from other institutions. Like, for example, your husband or wife, or like shared resources, budget, family budget. Or if you're a student, let's say it's a scholarship or some sort of funding. Or if you're a businessman, it's like a governmental funding of your business. In some financial institutions, banks, also loans are here. And eighth house is also about taxes. Some sort of spendings might be happening. Mars, as I said, it's a let's go and get kind of planet. It has less patience, and it's coming to you into your financial house. Be careful around there, because Mars, tends to give overspendings, like quite a lot of spendings, especially around your home-related, family budget might get drained because after 20th of July, Mars will be transiting exactly your family budget kind of area, and your money might be going out, and also it might give you amazing opportunity for you to take a loan. Also, if that was in your plan, let's say in your head, Mars might actually give you here that you might be signing some papers with banks or financial institutions to ask for money or take a loan or to buy some sort of big things, like let's say house or cars, and to get approval actually for your loan and all the papers. You might get quite busy around that time. And also it might be related to your taxes too, because eighth house is all about taxes. You might be submitting, resubmitting, or something related to taxes. All sort of application might start after 20th of July, or you might get contacted by tax authorities, or you might contact them. And it's also a good time to refinance, maybe sort of refinance your business, or think about how to attract more external money into your business, or change some things there. Now, well, eighth house is also about our health. Eighth house is a bit mystic house. It's about everything esoterics, like psychology or astrology, everything that is mystical. And you guys are mystical too, my dear Scorpios. And Mars is your ruler, ancient ruler. And here, eighth house is also about our health. It seems like Mars in general in astrology indicates also all things sharp, like knives, for example, or scissors, or even like a surgical knives. So here, for some of you, my dear Scorpios, end of July might be something related to surgery or related to operation. You might need one, or it's a planned or even unplanned. It is a possibility. Just take care around that. If it's everything all right, be careful around all things sharp, because Mars can give some accidents when it's transiting your eighth house. Eighth house is exactly the house of health. So and take around. But even if it's planned or unplanned surgery, no worries. Everything should go smooth. Now, also it's about conception. Eighth house is because it's mystical, and conception is also mystical thing in life. And if that was your wish, let's say, then end of July might be the time you will be quite a lot of busy and speaking and sort of thinking and sort of maybe going to the doctors and trying to find some specialist, contacting some specialist around fertility, around like this, especially for those of you who are trying to conceive a baby through, let's say, in vitro or like non-traditional methods. Let's say this will be the time, end of July will be the time when you will get contacted maybe by your doctor, by your specialist, or you might be quite active around these topics. And also, eighth house is about investments and inheritance. Those of you who are, avid investors into some instruments like crypto or shares or any sort of financial instruments, then this will be your time. When Mars hits your eighth house, you might get quite active around that time, investing, reinvesting, and even, receiving an inheritance is a possibility here too. Now, let's talk about full moon that is happening on 21st of July, and full moon is happening in your third house, my dear Scorpios. Third house is all about, our minds and thoughts. And third house is our siblings, if you have them. If you don't, it doesn't matter. It's also about our inner circle, let's say our neighbors, our relatives. And also third house, all about transportation. Third house is also about skills that we have, learning skills. Some short term courses could be here. Now, that full moon will be in conjunction, will be connected to Pluto, your ruler, your modern ruler, my dear Scorpios. And Pluto is the planet of transformation and rebirth. You pretty much know all about that, my dear Scorpios, yourself. Now, Pluto will be in your house of family, everything related to your family. And full moons are all about conclusions to some situation that's been already in your life, like kind of evolving and developing and coming to this point. And full moon just gives you the result, or full moon's job is also to put your attention to some things that needs your immediate action, your immediate decision, some sort of needs your attention there. So full moon has this, feature to put your attention, to bring into your immediate attention something or someone or some situation in your life. Now, it's happening at 29 degrees, meaning those of you who are born like end of Scorpio season, 21st of November, like plus or minus 5 days, will be affected the most by this full moon. And full moon will be supported by your another ruler, ancient ruler Mars, which will be in transiting your financial house, 8th house, that will be still in a wide kind of a connection to that surprise planet Uranus, in your relationship house. And another planet that will support that full moon is Neptune, planet of magic. And Neptune will be in your house of true love. So here is some sort of a picture of related to your relationships and family, and also something related to money. Now, because it's happening in third house, it might be about your siblings, because Pluto is in your family house. If you have them, your brother or sister, it might be they might deliver some news, or they might move out, let's say, somewhere, or travel out somewhere, or you've been living, let's say, together, and now they won't be living together, or they might actually let's say, give you some sort of news. Maybe you're becoming uncle or aunt, or it might be about, if it's not about your siblings, and if you don't have a siblings, then it might be about your neighbors, or you might be changing some sort of your neighbors are moving out or going somewhere, or it might be about your relatives, And third house, as I said, all about our thoughts, our skills. It might be you will finish your short-term kind of course or some trainings, whatever is the training. Maybe it's at work, or maybe out of interest yourself, you've started a training, some sort of, I don't know, maybe Coursera or whatever courses actually, to get new skills, to acquire new skills, like coding or driving actually skills too. Maybe you are finishing your driving school. This full moon might indicate exactly your graduation. You might get the certificate after, I don't know, because it's a short term, might be 3 months or 1 month kind of course, you might finish your course around this time too, and your family will be quite supportive of that. Also, because third house, as I said, it's our inner circle, your surrounding kind of day-to-day activity, with whom you communicate mostly daily, let's say, with your neighbors, with your immediate family, with your immediate, let's say, relatives and siblings, changing. It might be that you are moving somewhere or immigrating somewhere, and now you won't be so close, let's say, with the surrounding that you've been before, and the circle is changing. Your people, who surround you day to day is changing something, because third house is exactly about that. It might be because you are immigrating, or it might be because you, I don't know, traveling or changing house, let's say, or just moving out and finding another place to live, or you're selling your house. Some things are changing here, my dear Scorpios. And it's also about transportation. For those of you who've been, wishing and trying to buy, let's say, any sort of transport, a bicycle or a car, or any other type of transport, this full moon will be about that, because it seems like you will manage to get that transport. You will manage to finance it and to buy for yourself a new transport, maybe a new car. Or if you've been trying to sell it, that will be also successful one, my dear Scorpios. And third house is also about short distance travels, my dears. And this is like not very far, but somewhere very near. You might actually travel by the end of July too. And it seems like mostly related with your family. Like you might travel with your family or some family members. And you might travel together also with the person, like with your partner, let's say, that you've started dating too. Now, and lastly, Sun, the light of our universe, on 22nd of July will move into your 10th house. By the end of July, your attention will come back to your career, my dear Scorpios. You might maybe receive something, some news, or you might again be active and searching for maybe new position or new a job, or you might actually get the news or even start already your new job or position, a higher level, because 10th house is all about influence, my dear Scorpios. This is your horoscope for July. Stay tuned for August, and don't forget to check your rising sign and moon sign. They're very important, because for me personally, I always check my sun sign and rising sign, because rising sign, ascendant, another way to call it, is equally very influential on me in my life. So make sure to check them. And for my mom, for example, my mom checks her moon sign. So check definitely all three signs to get the fuller picture of the month. Love you all. Bye bye.